helpful because then I don't have to start taking.
We're recording right now. So Brian, say that again so you can review that.
Okay. So basically, when you're talking to somebody, especially you haven't talked to for a while, I mean, you don't want to obviously don't want to come across as I'm trying to get you to do something.
Yes.
Right? That's what you're saying.
Yes.
But you've got to have the right frame of mind when calling them too. Or when writing something down and if you're going to send an email, whatever. The right frame of mind, I think, is, look, I've got something that changes lives. I've got something that's going to help other people out in their situation. And what I like to tell people when I'm talking to them, especially if I know them, and I don't want to offend them or don't want to come across as me trying to sell them something, which we never want to come across as, because we are not there to do that. We're there to see if there's a match. If there's a match, then we go forward, right? It's not about getting them on anything. It's about saying, look, this may or may not be for you, but you may know somebody that this can help. And I have seen a lot of things go on with this. And you get the program, or I've seen people that have been changed by this, and I decided to become a coach myself. And I'd feel bad if I didn't tell you about it, because you may know somebody that's ready for this, that they want to make a change, and they've been looking for something. And if I didn't tell you about it, they wouldn't have that opportunity. You see, that it's just a different way of talking to people, because look, if you're sincere about it, what are they going to say? Well, thank you. Thanks for thinking of me. They're not going to say, well, why are you trying to get me into this?
Well,
because it's the way that you're coming across. Yeah. Go ahead, Kristen.
Well, I was going to say the other thing, a couple things that we talked about, and I just wanted to see if kind of that's the good direction is. One, as I said, there are going to be some people that she has not connected with, and irregardless of a challenge or the program, this is just a perfect time to reach out, just to connect with them, just to get that relationship started again. And that was one thing we talked about. I know that Pam's concern in that regards was that she, and correct me, Pam, if I'm wrong, but I remember we were talking the other day and your concern was them bringing up her son, because they're all very well a part of that part of her life and know the tragedy she's gone through. And she really doesn't, as I remember, correct me again, Pam, that she doesn't want to get into that whole not storyline, but I can't think of the word, that whole topic, and to keep it directed just to them. And I actually told her, I said, most of the people are going to ask how you're doing. And she can say, I'm doing really pretty well. She just went through the anniversary, and she can even mention, this time of year has been difficult on me. However, and she can talk a little bit about how this, and it has, we're not making it up, this program has really helped her maneuver through, not super easily, but better than she has in the past. And it's all about her directing the conversation, because I don't think people are going to, if they really love and care her, which I know all these people do, they're not going to sit there and say, but seriously, how do you feel? And what are you going through? They're going to be respectful enough not to go into great details about the past. But that was kind of my thought. And I don't know, Pam, we talked, is that right? Am I getting that kind of?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that it's almost, what happened was at the beginning of the conversation, because at the beginning of the conversation, you talked about us doing a three-way with Brian, because this had come up before. As we talked, I think I was able to verbalize some things that I didn't know that I was feeling. Mm-hmm. And then you gave very practical solutions, which was helpful. And then in setting up the meeting, and I did. It's kind of like a couple of days ago. It's like, okay, it's in your head. Draft the email, and so I did. So I think, yes, that's true. And I think everything, because one of the reasons that I wanted to coach was because I continually read over the past year and a half, people who coach other people are 5 to 6 times more successful in
there you go.
staying with the habits of health, and so that's exactly what they do with AA, and now it's like, oh, now I understand why they do that with AA. It's because you'll be more successful if you're imparting to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really why I was sending out, motivated to send out the email, because Kristen was needing to kind of split her team, and like coaches handled their own thing. And it's kind of like, oh, well, wait, your whole system is my support system. And if now I'll have to do some things on my own. And so that was, it was a good thing. That's kind of the genesis of how this all started, was I need some people to help be successful, because I want this to be the changes I have had in the past year and a half. I want them to be permanent changes in my life.
Well, that's great. See, there's your reason. I mean, there's your reason, your why in this. I mean, maybe one of them, but that definitely is important. And if you say that to them, they'll understand. I mean, they're going to understand where you're coming from, and you're doing it. See, it's when we get a lot of, it's when we're unsure of ourselves, and we're talking to people that people go, oh, what's going on here, right?
Okay.
If you're just straightforward, and this is what I'm doing, and if you don't take it personally, whether they do it or not do it, that's a big thing too. Okay.
But I'm sorry, but I think all I'm doing is, it's like I'm casting a very wide net. Well, I say this like I've sent out an email. I haven't.
The email is really good, and I've read it, so I just thought. So it's a good net.
You saw it. Good net.
Yeah.
Is that I'm casting a very wide net, so that surely all I'm looking for is about 3 or 4 people who think that maybe either it might be something they want to try that might be helpful to them. And even then, I'm not talking about the food, because I've never been able to purchase the food myself. I have a client who purchases a lot of the food. I'm more looking for people that the habits of health could benefit from.
Yeah, and just to put in perspective, most of the people that and obviously there's foods that some people have allergies to, whatever, but most of the people that you're going to talk to are going to be just fine with using a meal replacement to help them in eating every 3 hours. Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, it's probably going to be it's going to be better for them too. But
yeah, that would have
been exactly. Yeah. So when you put that out,
Pam knows that, Brian, because she desperately wishes she could use the meal replacement. So she actually has a story behind that of, if I could have it, surely would have made my life easier.
It would have been a lot easier, a lot simpler.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
It took me a year. It took me from January to January to problem solve and actually get something that was a blueprint of what the meal replacements do. And that year was a long time. I was a pretty desperate individual especially for me to stick with something that long when it required so much detail analysis.
How much did you lose?
Well, I never really, now finally I lost 10 pounds since January, but over the past year, I didn't really, and I don't really have weight to lose. My challenge was my food is so incredibly restricted that having to stay on such a restricted meal plan is just, and this is, the habits of health has been the only thing over the past many years that I have ever found that has been something that has been able to, in baby steps, alter my life. Of course, it was great as of January, after I had found the meal replacements that worked for me, is that that it's like, oh, this system really works, and you really do drop weight, and you really don't get hungry. But I think other people would much prefer to just
do it.
Yeah,
it's like just place an order, like my friend Lisa did,
And see, Brian, that's a great story.
You got a great story.
Yeah,
it's awesome. That's a.
Hold on, you're going in and out.
It's very, well, I wouldn't say like my. Oh,
I can hear you now.
Or can you hear me now?
No, you're still in and out. Hold on.
You guys were going kind of in and out.
Okay, better.
Okay, all right. So I just say not that my story or Kristen's story is not authentic, but I mean your story is very. I mean it's a great story. You know, I mean it's very authentic and very, very from the heart and everything. And so it's like you should have no worries talking to people about, you know, what it is that's helped you, and going through and sending an email. I would follow up with phone calls when you're sending the email, and follow up with a phone call and say, hey, did you get my email? I just want to make sure people are getting my email. See, one thing I did when I started doing Take Shape for Life, and I had about 20 pounds that I initially lost. But when I first started doing Take Shape for Life, is I would talk to everybody that I met about it, because I thought it was so great that I was able to actually lose that weight in a fairly quick amount of time. And it was very simple. It was very straightforward. Even today, the program's even better because there's more choices and everything else. And it just even tastes better and just different things. But now we have the Habits of Health, which we didn't have when I first started.
I didn't know.
We didn't have the Habits of Health when I first started. We had like 20 products, not 100, and we didn't have the system. But I felt like it helped me enough to where people were, you know, having success, and I was seeing other people being helped. I was like, anybody should be able to do this. And if I didn't talk to somebody or get a hold of somebody that I knew or met or whatever, I would get to the point where I felt bad, because I would be thinking to myself, this is again, it's all about your how you're positioning yourself. I would think, you know, I could have really possibly helped that person or helped somebody that they knew with their help. And what would happen if somebody wasn't helped by the system that I have or the program that we have, and I didn't talk about it and I didn't do anything about it, and let's say 6 months down the road, that person or somebody that they knew dies of a heart attack or dies of something because of the way they're eating or the way they're doing their, you know, they're not using the Habits of Health, and they have all kinds of problems because of it. Where does that put me?
Yeah.
So I would basically say, I'm going to tell everybody about it. Now, this is the thing too. If I didn't tell everybody about it, then I'd be a liar. But when I tell somebody, I'm going to tell everybody I know, everybody I meet, everybody that I get an opportunity to talk about this. And if I tell them that, then I'm not singling out anybody. I'm letting everybody know, and I could care less if they do it or not. It's not my thing. All I am is I'm the messenger. I'm going to give them the information and paint a picture of what's possible and let them choose for themselves, because I know that it will help them. Now, if you're a Glenn Beck, you know, a listener, which you are, if you look back behind me, you'll see the E's.
Oh, yeah.
So I have them all. I have them all, of course, signed by Glenn himself, because I work with his sister. I work with his sister, Michelle. I know. I work with his sister, Michelle, and she's a health coach, and she loves what we've helped do with her. And Glenn, you know, I've talked to Glenn several times, and anyway, he's signed all them for me. But if you look at them, you mean, what's the 4 E's? It's exactly what we do. It's enlighten. We enlighten people on what is there, what's possible. Yeah, what's possible. We educate them so they can make an educated decision. The other ones, of course, is empowerment. We empower the ones that actually want to change. See, it's not, you're not trying to get anybody. What you're doing is you're painting a picture of what's possible. You're giving them the education so they can make an educated decision. Then you're saying, okay, who wants to do this? And then you're empowering the ones that want it. And there's a match. The match is, you know, okay, I want to get healthy now. I'm really focused. This is what I want to do. And then entrepreneurship, that's just the opportunity of paying it forward, like you're saying. Also, the opportunity of making extra income, because who in this country doesn't want to make more money as well? And who wouldn't want to, by helping other people with their health? or helping them financially. See, what we have here is an opportunity to pay it forward and to really change lives and have a predictable transformation, because we've already seen it. It's already been done. We've already been doing this 13 years. We already know what the results are. I have yet, Pam, in my almost 14 years now, have ever had anybody say, why did you get me into that thing? Because it's not that thing. Because it benefits all people that get involved, whether they're a client or they're even referring somebody to be a client, or they're a coach or a business coach or a business leader like myself. It benefits every single person out there. So nobody has anything to say about, why did you get me into that? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Do you find that people that you, and because I'm kind of just connected some dots, so people that you approach,
Yep,
that are not at a point in their life to either delve into it, or they get into it for a little while, but they're not completely there yet. It seems like that the habits of health are so universal that they come away with something that, whether it's a or
yes,
special to them in some way.
Yep. I mean, everybody. I mean, it's everybody can benefit from it. Even what's cool about it too is it's so universal. The habits of health could be used by anybody, right? So what we have to offer, I mean, look, if you just offered the system but said, okay, using the Miller Place is obviously going to be a lot easier, because use me for an example. I mean, you're using yourself as an example. And you already used the AA as an example. Look, if you pay it forward, if you're actually teaching others to do what you do, you're going to be more likely to stay on that track. Yes. Even if you're not a great, I mean, you don't have to be an awesome coach. You don't have to know everything. Nothing. I mean, you can plug people into the system. They can do it. And look, people are going to do it or they're not going to do it. But if they don't do it and you offer it and you're there to be supportive, then you've done your job.
Yeah.
Now it's just about what they want. So let's ask them the question, what do they want? I mean, that's the questions we really should be talking to you about. But I know we're answering questions and everything else for you. But, what is it that you want to accomplish with this? What do you want to see with this? And do you know what's possible with this? I mean, because this is what I find interesting. Most people don't really understand what's possible with this. Now, I'm talking from a physical standpoint of, changing your life physically. I'm also talking from a financial standpoint and a mental standpoint. And even you can go into spiritual with that as well. But what I'm saying is most people don't understand. And I understand because I've been there, I've done that, and I'm there now. And I know what can happen to somebody's life, even if they decide to pay it forward a little bit, or if they decide to pay it forward a lot and actually make it to where it's more of a business, but make it to where they can expand the horizons and help even more and more people. Doesn't it feel good when you've helped a lot of people? I'll tell you, nothing compares to being able to help people physically. So let's say, for example, you decide to really take this on and go, well, I would like to do even more than the 5, have 5 clients. I'd like to have 100 clients, because I really think I want to, and you just, again, picture this. You got to picture yourself doing it, because if you don't, it won't happen, first of all. But also imagine what that would feel like if you had people that you were helping out with their physical health, but then there'll be some of those people that decide to get in financially as well to help other people out. And then all of a sudden there's a lot more people that are benefiting. And all of a sudden now you have created a legacy. And people are like, I am so grateful that you did this for me, that you cared enough to share it with me. Even the ones that maybe don't do anything with it, they still should feel the same way, because you did it out of, I really want people to know what it is. And the reason why I'm mentioning going a little bit further than what I usually do is because I want to paint a bigger picture of what's possible, because see what's happened in my life, and even what's happened in Kristen's life. I mean, she's helped hundreds of people with the program. And just from my own, what I've done over the last 14 years, we've helped tens of thousands of people. It's almost like, it's like for some people, they can't even fathom that, but it all started with a few people. But I wanted to pay it further even more. So I was willing to share it even more and share even the opportunity with people more. And I have no reservations of sharing both. See that? I mean,
yeah.
And so it depends on what you want. It depends on what your why is and what you want to accomplish. But know this, that without, if you share just a few people or even more people, it feels really good to be able to stretch out and to actually change more lives.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think that I have in short, an interesting situation in that I am a very driven person. I'm a very people-oriented person. I have good management skills. I love to share. I love to invest. I love to have impact. And so it's actually, for me, my challenge is letting something unfold before I go, because I tend to jump into something feet first and get in way over my head, and then I go forth and I conquer. And so I think what has been very helpful to me is that Kristen has been very much of, it can go this way or it can go this way. And you just
very supportive no matter what you do.
Yes. And because, yes, I do know there's potential there, and I do know there's financial potential there. And of course, who doesn't want free money? Well, not that it's free, but who doesn't want to be doing something like that? And so it's just that.
Well, it's actually even more than that. It's actually, it's not free money. You work for it, but it's actually more than that, because I understand that. But you could help so many more people if you have the means to help them. It's freedom. Yeah, it's also time freedom, and it's also being able to help other people financially and all that stuff. So
yes, and all of that is true, and I know, and there's a reason why I have never said to Kristen, so tell me, how much money can you make, and how does the compensation package work? It's kind of like, okay, Pam, you just need to be able to write the email. It's just so.
We're just taking it as she needs it.
One step at a time.
I appreciate you sharing, Brian, and I know what you're doing. I am that person too. You create a vision and you inspire people and you bring them along. I know that's my life. That's what I do. Until Josh dropped dead, but so it's just kind of so I appreciate you sharing that. I know where you're coming from, and so I understand, and it's like, okay.
Well, maybe I shared it with you because you have I can see that you have the ability to do that.
And that's really cool.
So if you have the ability to do that, what it does is it actually helps you with other areas of your life, because you're more focused. You're more focused then on really paying it forward and helping really while you're down on this earth, which we don't know how long it's going to be for any of us. You're really helping pay it forward and really making a bigger impact on other people's lives. If you've had something that's happened to you personally and you're able to use that, in fact, this is what one of my, I do a call every week, every Saturday, and I usually have a few hundred people on the call, and this week we have a training that we're doing here in Boise, and we televise it. We have it on camera. Everything, people can watch the training that we do here. But this Saturday I'll be talking about actually how we use things that maybe we think we failed in, or how we use different circumstances in our lives that maybe have nothing to do with us, but things that happened in our lives, how we use those to actually help other people and benefit other people. And it's the same with like what you were talking about. It's the same with people with AA. It's the same with people with health problems that overcome those. It's the same, and sometimes there's things that happen in life that we have no control over, but we can, but it depends on how we deal with those things, that we can actually help deal with them actually better if we actually use those stories to help others in the same situation.
Yeah, and it's a redemptive quality of don't waste your pain.
There you go. And so that's I mean, more than probably most of us know it. Yeah. But see that it's so reassuring to me that people can use their circumstances to pay it forward and help other people, and know that there was, well, I always feel like God's in control of things. So I mean, I'm not going to say whatever happens, but I can choose. I always talk to my kids. I'm like, it's all how you deal with it. It has nothing to do with if it's going to happen or not. Things are going to happen no matter what you say or what you do and how you. Now, there's things that we have more control over, and we should be in control of those things and what we can do. But it really, I mean, paying it forward is, and being able to relate to other people and different things. I mean, that's the beauty of life.
Yes. Yes, it makes it purposeful.
It makes it actually more livable too. Well, I mean, if we were in the, if we're just in the, oh my gosh, or either blame game or we're in the feeling sorry for ourselves game, we're never going to be happy.
Absolutely.
So anyway, but you have that ability. See, that's maybe I said that for a reason, but you have that ability to really pay it forward and help a lot of people and create a lot of happiness for a lot of people.
Well, I think the connection that I made when you were talking about that is because where my heart is from things that I went through in childhood is that there's a wonderful man that sets up for Freedom Homes around the world, wants to do it in all the major capitals for women who have survived and escaped.
Escaped what?
And sex trafficking.
Yeah.
And so, and he's doing his dissertation on some groundbreaking work. Anyway, so
I know Glenn's done talked a lot about that.
Yes, and so it's about post-traumatic recovery, and it's like so he's always saying to me, Pam, you got to come with me to Moldova. You've got to come with me to Moldova, and it's like, yes, I want to go to Moldova, and it's like, okay, well, so maybe this might finance my trips to Moldova. So anyway, so yeah.
Well, see, now you're getting down to the one. You're getting down to the what would I want to do with that if I actually did that, and then we can talk to you, and Kristen's great at this, and she's an awesome coach, so she can help you with all this. But then you get to where you're talking about, okay, so how much would that cost? Okay, so how many clients would that be? And then you start thinking, hold on a second, if I have these clients, how many coaches would it take to maybe fund more trips, and maybe give me time freedom to where I don't have to be working to do this. And then I can do the things I want to do. See, we've got a guy. He's a cardiovascular. I'll give you an example. This is because you're perfect. Right, you kind of segue right into it. We have a guy that's a cardiovascular surgeon. He was 120 pounds overweight. It took him about 2 or 3 years before he decided, okay, I need to get on this program and do this. And he's one of his patients. Talked to him multiple times about it. And he finally said, okay, I need to do this. So he got on the program and lost some weight. Well, he was happy as a cardiovascular surgeon, but he loved doing mission trips. And he loved going to third world countries and doing surgeries and performing and doing what he calls God's work, because he would also use his religious values and stuff to help people come to Christ and different things. So he would be doing those things as well. But he got to a point in Take Shape for Life where he wanted to do more of those mission trips instead of go to the hospital and do surgeries. So what he's doing now. He's no longer doing surgeries at the hospital. He makes enough money in Take Shape for Life to fund his mission trips and to continue him in his lifestyle that he had as a cardiovascular surgeon.
Okay, well that's motivating, Brian.
Hey, I don't
You
want
see what I'm saying? I mean, it's beyond what it's a lot of times beyond what people even think. Because if you look at the financial, what did you say?
She doesn't,
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'm less than
she
a
doesn't
minute.
want to interrupt.
Oh no,
Less
go ahead.
than a minute, and so you gotta. I don't want to, but I know we're gonna go dead, and everybody's gonna go, "What happened?"
Oh
but
shoot.
that's okay.
Okay.
But I don't want to.
Well,
Brian,
it's very
thank
nice
you.
talking to you again.
And if
Work
it
with
goes
Kristen.
dead,
She's
we'll
awesome.
end there. But go finish.
I will.
your
She's
thing.
great. She's great. Thank you very much for your time, Brian. I appreciate it.
Just
Are you there?
about Dr.
About-
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make a plan and do the things you want to do in life. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Hey, sorry,
That was
Brian.
good.
And
Thank-
work with Kristen. She'll help work you through it, and I will too.
Okay.
Hey,
I
thank
appreciate
you
your time.
again. Oh, and Pam, thanks for your time and thanks for your patience of us all getting on. And I'll copy this and send it to you. You guys have
No, you're
You're breaking up quite a bit.
Okay. Talk to you later.
All right. I heard that.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Bye.
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 Bye.